Trust me, I get it. Nursing school can be intimidating. Well, I put this video together to cover the different academic tips you need to know, the financial tips, the social tips, and last but not least, the spiritual tips that are gonna help you push through nursing school so you can get your RN and live a better life. My name is Aaron Goulet. Let's get started. Guys, let's cover the most important part of nursing school, academic tips. So my number one tip for you would be to know what to expect. If you know what to expect before it comes to you, you'll be better prepared, and preparation is key. Preparation is going to help you get through anything, but right now we're focusing on nursing school. Know what to expect. I have a video on this. Spend the 20 minutes to watch it, and it's going to save you hours and hours and days and pounds of stress on your shoulders while you get through this nursing school program. So, what I realized what was really important in the academic process is that I actually had to learn how to study. High school really is about, just showing up and passing things in and just making sure you do what they're asking you to do. I don't really think you had to test too well. You might have to study a little bit, but the effort compared to high school and nursing school is totally different. So you're gonna have to learn a lot about yourself. So there's gonna be a lot of trial and error. So I failed my first A&P, anatomy and physiology test. I didn't do great on the next one. I don't think I passed that one either. So I had to reflect and say, okay, what am I doing or what am I not doing? So I realized that I wasn't putting enough effort in. I was so used to not studying much in high school that that's the effort I was putting into my anatomy and physiology. Then I quickly realized now that I'm behind, I had to put double the effort and double the time. I had to basically seclude myself from my friends in college and really just double down on my future and focus and put the time in the library. So also you're gonna have to cover groups versus solo and what works best for you. Maybe you're somebody who has a hard time really sitting there focusing on and reading and you like to talk about things. I would get a good study buddy, someone who's not necessarily just going to gossip or talk about drama the whole time, but get a good, dedicated, devoted study group. Maybe that works for you, maybe that doesn't. Maybe you're just better off studying alone. What I would do is I would study most of the time by myself, and then I would go and refresh with somebody else. Her name is Jess Barbera, by the way. I used to study a lot with her. She was a brain. She was the top of the class, and we were very good friends. And it was good to have that support in nursing school. So also note taking. So I wasn't taking the best notes initially. I was kind of just saying, oh, it'll be on the PowerPoint. Oh, I'll learn it in the book. But what they teach you in class is most of the time what's going to be on the test. And if they say it more than twice, make sure you're at least writing it down. Maybe you could do a tape recorder if your college allows it, and maybe that will help you. A lot of times the PowerPoints that they show, you could take notes just off of that. But I would definitely recommend reading your textbook too and cover the chapters, and then maybe going over the PowerPoints after just to get a more focused view of the material they want you to know. What worked for me that I liked a lot, I spent a lot of time on YouTube finding different resources, just like this channel, but more for like academically focused, where they could show you diagrams and give you different ways to memorize it. We can cover that in the future section that we're going to get to. But I used to watch a lot of videos and have people teach me, and that's what helped me a lot. I would also like to take cool concepts and draw them, and whether it be like arrows or maybe I would draw the whole concept or the bones or the systems myself, and you can color it and do all things like that, because you're spending a lot of time on one concept. It's going to help your brain soak all that in. And what also is important is taking proper breaks. So you might want to do 30 minutes, focus, and then take a 10-minute break. It might be an hour and then take a break. It might be a little over that. But you can't just keep studying. You need to give yourself quick little bursts. Like you can't just sprint forever, but if you do a sprint, take a break, sprint, take a break, that's gonna help you really cover a lot of material in a short amount of time. But if you're on your phone, going on your textbook, going on your phone, going on your textbook, getting a text, getting a call, and it's a lot of mix up, your brain's gonna be distracted, and that's going to affect the way your brain soaks in information. So be dedicated and make sure you at least take a break so you're not just so fidgety while you're in the chair sitting down all day. Practice questions. Practice questions are important as well. So after you cover all the material, after you read, start practicing questions because nursing school is focused on test taking. They're really preparing you for the test. They're not necessarily even preparing you to be a nurse. That might sound funny, but if you go through nursing school, you'll understand. But they're basically teaching you how to take tests because they want to make sure you can at least pass the NCLEX, and then the hospital will teach you how to be a nurse. See one, do one, teach one. So if you if you're reading, so read the material and then you could do one, you might have to act it out or draw it out or do something like that, and then teach one. So whether you have somebody in your group, you can teach somebody the material, and if you're doing all those three things together, it's going to help you just understand the information long term, and you'll be able to get corrected if you're wrong, or you'll be able to just understand the material. It's going to help you. Memorize versus understand. So you're going to be covering so much information in a short amount of time. You're going to be tempted just to basically get flashcards and just memorize. Flashcards is still a useful tool, but don't get focused on memorizing because memorizing is short-term memory, basically. So if you understand a material or a principle or a concept, it's going to help you in the future once you start covering pathophysiology, pharmacology, med-surg 2, pediatrics, all that stuff. So you won't have to just go back and keep relearning. Time of study. So I found for myself that if I would go to class, I'd be tired and then I'd want to go take a nap, and then I'd be kind of, groggy throughout the day, and then I'd end up starting my study session late. That would kind of screw me up a little bit. So I realized that if I just hurried up and just got all my stuff done for the day, basically like if you're working an 8-hour workday, do your 3 hours in your lecture and then go study after, and really just try and take advantage of most of your time so you're not up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. studying, because you're going to have to be up early the next day and you're just going to be chasing sleep, and it's not going to be a good cycle. So try to study throughout the day and not necessarily just take a nap. You'll be studying late sometimes anyway, if you have a test the next day and covering all that material, but yeah, just find out what works best for you. You'll come up with your own routine. But like I said, with all these together, it's going to be a lot of trial and error. What works for me might not work for you, but I'm just giving tips on things you should think about going into it. It's important to really focus on putting the time in too. If you put the time in and you're dedicated and you show up to the library and cover what you have to cover, and it's going to help you. So this is important. Build strong foundation. So just like in my construction work, when I'm building something, you cannot build something with a weak foundation, because if you start to stack stuff on top of that, it's going to fall over. So in nursing school, falling over means failing and taking over a class, which is going to cost you your time. That's why I'm making this video for you guys. I really want you guys to be ahead of the game, because I had to learn a lot of this myself. I learned some of this from my mom and my older sister, but it's hard to learn for yourself, and it takes too much time and too much energy and too much stress. So know your anatomy and physiology. You're going to hear people say this all the time. I always heard it, and I underestimated what I was hearing. So they would just say, oh, know your A&P, know your A&P, know your A&P. And I was kind of like, okay, yeah, well, that makes sense. And then, I would be basically just memorizing everything. And, like I said, I failed my first 2 tests in A&P, and it was kind of screwing me for, future classes. So you just should really be focused on understanding anatomy and physiology and understanding principles, because everything is very similar, whether it be, heat makes things expand and then cold makes things contract. And it's the same thing with, metals, and it's the same thing with your body. There's a lot of universal principles that apply just to healthcare and nursing and the human body. So learn these principles and really try to understand them. It's going to help you build your foundation, and then you can stack everything else on top of that. Going to save you time in the future. I promise you. So the 3 S's: start semester strongly. So don't be like me, my first anatomy and physiology, and underestimating everything that I had to know. Because what I was saying is, oh, they won't expect me to know that, and I doubt that that's going to be on the test. And I learned real quickly when I got like a 55 and a 60. I was like, oh man, they actually expect me to know all this. So they're going to expect a lot of you guys. Don't underestimate that. So go in there saying, no, I'm going to put as much energy as I can in the first few tests, so that way I can be steady through nursing school and not playing catch up, because playing catch up sucks. Gonna be real with you, because then it causes more stress. More stress causes you to have less focus. You don't want to play that game. It's not going to be fun for you, and it's going to just make you have breakdowns, all that stuff. What's also important is know the percentages on the syllabus. So don't waste your time focus on something that's only going to give you 5% of your grade. Put most of your focus on things that hold a lot of weight in that class. So whether it be the exams, or maybe it's a paper you have to write. And this goes for college in general. So you're not going to be able to spend all your time on everything because there's not enough time in the day. So you need to focus on what holds the most weight. Put your most focus and attention on that, and then you can you should always be giving most of your effort, but you can give average effort on stuff that really doesn't matter, like 2%, 5%. You'll know what I'm talking about as you see your syllabus. So this, I really want to give credit to these people. I couldn't really tell them personally, or unless I left a comment. These are great resources. So when I was learning about anatomy and physiology, you're going to be learning stuff. It's not going to make sense, but people make digital, virtual videos to help you see and understand the process. So Crash Course, he's a great guy. He makes awesome videos. There's all little funny characters of like being the white blood cells with the swords, and they're fighting off viruses and bacteria. So it's just funny, but he makes it fun, and he did a great job explaining a lot of anatomy and physiology. Also, Mike Linares from Simple Nursing, he was my favorite out of all these people. He made it very fun. He does wacky videos of him singing songs and all kinds of stuff like that. But he covers a lot of things. There's an app called Simple Nursing. It's expensive, but it's the same cost as a textbook. If I could go back and do nursing school again, I would have spent money on getting the app rather than being cheap and then just trying to watch the short version videos that he has on his YouTube, because that would have saved me a lot of time, and time is money. So again, it would have been worth it for me. At the time I said no, it's not, but now that I grew in wisdom, I realized that I should have spent that money initially. Also, Sarah from Registered Nurse RN, that's her YouTube channel. She does she covers a lot of the same stuff that like Simple Nursing does. You might like her videos better than his, or his better than hers, but they're both great resources. So Kathy Parks, so she was awesome too. She actually got into some like legal trouble making her YouTube videos because ATI was kind of mad. She was selling like flashcards and stuff like that had their material on it. But whether you have ATI or HESI, Kathy Parks covers a lot of stuff that those people want to test you on. And she teaches you exactly what they're expecting you to know. And she does a great job breaking down what to know, what not to bother. All right, and I want to cover these three: financial, social, and spiritual, just to cover all the bases so you could be better off. Maybe you just want to know the academic stuff, but I'm going to go through this quickly so you could at least be a little bit ahead. So you're going to spend a lot of your time studying. You're not going to be able to work as much as you were before. So there's some adjustments you're going to have to make financially. So what I was doing, I was working a lot with my dad. He's a construction guy. He runs a company. I was working all summer trying to save my money, and that way I wouldn't be so stressed financially through nursing school. Some people in my nursing class were still working as CNAs or whatever other job they were doing, and that's a lot, and I give props to them because they hustled and got it done. But try and focus on saving as much money, cutting expenses, all kinds of stuff like that. I would recommend cutting your hours back and at least maybe going part-time or like per diem if you work in the hospital or somewhere else. But you're not going to be able to spend so much time on studying if you're always at work. So that's going to affect in your grades, and that's just going to be a mess. Balance home income. So if you're in a relationship, if you have a husband or a wife or whatever your situation is, maybe they'll have to pick up some slack, while you're in nursing school. They might have to work an extra day or work overtime. And that's an investment for them, because once you get your your degree and you start making some money, it's going to help the household. So have that conversation at home, especially if you're cutting your hours. Make sure your household is going to be okay, and that's going to help reduce your stress. So car versus no car. So if you're somebody who doesn't necessarily need a car, if you're on campus, I know some campuses really don't even let you bring your car if you're a freshman. If you can't afford your car while you're there, because you're going to be driving people around, you're going to be spending gas money, insurance. I don't know if you have a car payment, but you got to cut your expenses while you're there. You got to sacrifice. So do what you have to do. If having a car is not worth it for you, don't do it. Don't bother. Just have people drop you off home. You're going to have people living near you in the area. And work study. So a lot of colleges, like if you're on campus and not really like a community college, there's something called work study. You can go chase volleyballs at a volleyball game and throw them to the ref, and they'll give you like $20 an hour or whatever. And that's going to help you buy food. Like I was buying calzones. Like, sometimes if I had a day and I was ahead on my studying, I would say, oh, let's go make $100, and I would do a couple, things for the college. They'll pay you, and it was great. Social. So let's go over some social tips. It's going to be lonely going through nursing school. You're going to spend a lot of time with yourself. So getting a study buddy is going to help you fulfill that void that's going to be, in your spirit. So I would definitely get a study buddy. It doesn't have to be all the time, but at least get one. Take your breaks with your friends. So I would always text my friends back in like the dorm room. We used to live like 6 in a room. So I'd say, hey, when you guys are going to dinner, let me know. I would go eat with them. We would laugh. We'd make fun of each other, and it would just help you get your mind off of studying and give you some enjoyment. So it'll help you get back to studying, and you could go push through longer. Also, when I was a senior, I actually had a mentor. At least that's how I viewed him, because it was hard for me, especially as a male nurse, to kind of have a role model figure to look up to. His name is Stephen Lewis. So he was on Instagram. I ended up finding him. I said, hey, if you want to give me a blueprint to how you got to where you got, I'd really appreciate that. And, we talked on the phone for like 4 hours. I didn't even expect it, but he really helped motivate me and help me push through, senior year in nursing school. And he got me excited for the future. So that's honestly a part of why I want to do this teaching, because I want to help others as well. Be involved in sports and activities. There was some people that were playing soccer, basketball. I was shocked that they even had time to commit themselves to a sport, because I feel like I was stressed out without sports. But yeah, that worked for them, and it helps you get your mind, it helps you get your body moving, and release some of that stress. I would play basketball with a lot of the basketball team and other people on campus. We'd play in the day, sometimes as late as midnight, and we'd have a blast. We'd get the music going, and it was just it was great to have that social aspect of college. That's probably one of the funnest parts of me being in college, is playing basketball with my friends. And work hard, play hard. There's going to be a lot of people around you, partying, doing all kinds of stuff, and you're going to almost be jealous in a way. Don't be jealous. Just study all week. Saturday night, go party. I would study all Saturday. Go out Saturday night. Have fun. Enjoy your time in college. You don't necessarily have to just be, a bookworm and just study. Consider yourself a bookworm, but when it's time to party, party, let it out. Don't get too, hammered. And so recover Sunday, go study Sunday afternoon after you get some food in you, some electrolytes, and you'll be good. I don't want to sit here and act perfect and act like, I was just studying and being in the library all the time. Spent a lot of time there, but I partied as well. So I just want to be real with you guys. And spiritual. So I want to go over this, because this is important as well. Because nursing school is going to be a spiritual journey for you, whether you're somebody who's, religious or not. So I would catch myself basically studying all day, and it'd be like 12 a.m., 1 a.m. sometimes, and nobody would be in the library, other than like Jess Barbera, my study buddy. And there'd be like we had this big open field, and then we had the dorm that I would walk to, and it'd be quiet, everybody's sleeping. I'd be walking across, this big field, and it was really dark, and then the stars would really just shine on you, and it was really like a humbling experience. And it feels like almost every time I was walking, it was just like I would tell myself, oh, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. And I would always affirm to myself, and it would help me push myself, and it was just like one of those moments that you knew it was all gonna work out. So just know when you're going through this process, it's gonna work out. Don't listen to those demons that are telling you, no, you're not smart enough, this isn't worth it, because you're gonna have those thoughts. You gotta ignore them. You gotta tell yourself, you're blessed and highly favored, because you are, and really push through and just get it done, because it's gonna be worth it. The pain that you're going through was only temporary. When you get out, like I said, a lot of times you're going to be making more money than a lot of people that are in college with you. You'll get out, you'll have a solid job. It's worth it, guys. Push through. Don't fall into that victim mentality. It's going to be very easy to feel bad for yourself. Don't get trapped doing that, because once those negative thoughts take over, it's hard to overcome them. So try and stop them immediately, or at least maybe you have to vent and get them out to people around you. Don't bother calling home and venting to them, because they won't understand. Vent to the people that are in the school with you and are in your program, because they're going to know exactly what you're going through. You guys are going to get through together. Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. So choose hard. If you do in life what is easy, your life will be hard. If you do what is hard, your life will be easy. So that basically wraps it up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys can get through this nursing program. If you have any questions, message me, follow me on Instagram, do whatever you have to do. But really, guys, be on yourself. Take these tips from this video, watch my other videos, and just get ahead of the game. I'm here for you guys if you need me. Keep watching my other videos, and let's get through this together. Good luck.